Rangers, you know what I say. If you see a big red button, you have to press said big red button. It didn't work out very well for us last time. Though, it did bring one good thing. I thought that I recognized the vocals, the very few vocals we heard. I thought I recognized the voice. And yes, it was indeed Miracle of Sound. I had to look that up on his YouTube channel because I adore that man's music. Especially his Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age Inquisition songs. The way... Yeah, you know what I mean if you listen to both of those songs. I love that man's music. I thought I recognized his voice, and it was him. And I am kinda looking forward to actually completing the game and hearing the song in its entirety. In the game, I've heard it before because I've listened to it. But I'm just being able to hear it in the game. Looking forward to it. Anyway, welcome back to Wasteland 2. Today we're gonna... Well, first of all, we're gonna look through the Ranger Citadel now that we have finally been allowed to come in here. And then we're gonna go out exploring because we are gonna get rewarded for exploring and finding new things. And also finding new items that they may put in here. Are there two exhibitions of Visa cards? Yes, there are. And a telephone booth. We have a toaster. Oh. This toaster is in need of repairs. We are not cool enough to do that. We have a grandfather clock, kind of. A plastic card with a black stripe on one side and the words Secpass 7 written on the other. It has seen a lot of wear and tear. Indeed. Nothing to say about the Superman changing room. Alright. And we have a jukebox and an analog clock and tissues? Tissues. Billiard table or snooker or whatever the hell you want to call it. We have good old TV. I had one of these when I was a child, a wee child. Got it from my maternal grandfather so I could play my NES games on it when the other television in the living room was occupied. Unfortunately, I tried to play Fester's Quest on one of these. And I say unfortunately because the one I had was purely black and white. If you have played Fester's Quest on the NES, you know that playing that on a black and white TV will royally screw you over. And if you haven't played Fester's Quest, if I remember it right, you upgrade your gun by picking up colored upgrades. I think blue is for upgrading and red is for downgrading. For some goddamn reason. And you can figure out how well that went when you're playing on a black and white TV and you can't see the difference between red and blue. Pick up everything and you'll never get any power-ups. We have something here. Scratched into the science fictional IPs. I never heard science fictional. Science fiction IPs? Sure, science fictional IPs? Sure. The word Proteus. Okay. Why is that important, game? That sounded like an important jingle. Oh, maybe not. Use perception. This case is filled with old-timey books, many of which show signs of considerable use. Some of the most bookmarked are Rich Like Me by Stephen Hino, The Unabridged Elf Manual by Collins McBrush, and Macaria Carrion, Succubus Queen of Hell by Tom Bryams. You also spot the actually useful Fix It by Guy McVer hidden on a bottom shelf. MacGyver? Okay. Actually fix it. Oh, can I pick that up? Ooh, I can. I'm gonna take that. No one seems to mind that I'm... Oh, is this the original Bloodstaff? I had the fake one that I got it from a toaster, so of course it was fake. What do we have here? This shelf is filled with old-time books. A few titles catch your notice. An American Life, The Book of Nauseatingly Correct Manners. Ugh. And Maximum Power. But you don't have time for reading now. You'll make a note to get back to them later. How about we pick him up? Ooh, hello. Intelligence Report Part 2. Memories of my time in the Rangers Part 3. History of the Desert Rangers Part 1 to 5. Right, we never found the Ag Center history, did we? I'm gonna take all of these. Because I think I had the Ag Center, History of Ag Center Part 2, but we never found Part 1. Oh. Tell me about the History of the Desert Rangers by Ranger Simak. Remember, history is written by the victors, so take everything with a grain of salt and, you know, vet your sources. What comes after the end? The story of the Desert Rangers begins at what many would have called the end of all human history, after the nuclear blasts changed the face of the world forever and left human civilization with scars that would never heal. That is at least 150 years ago then, because the nuke said that it had been preserved for about 150 years. So I'm gonna guess that the world went to shit about 150 years ago. But humanity's resilience is its defining trait, also curiosity. And it should surprise no one that pockets of survivors survived the nuclear holocaust. I say pockets speculatively, and some would call me a fool for doing so, for though rumors persist of mutants being cured and turned into humans in Florida, these are obvious fairy tales. And in the century since the nuclear war, we here in the Arizona wastes have heard no credible reports of others surviving outside our lonely stretch of desert land. It is therefore fair to assume that we are the only ones left, but now we have radio transmissions that seem to be coming from the other side of the radiation clouds. So, maybe not. So, a century ago, 100 years plus minus a few years. Okay. Part 2, who are we? The Desert Rangers started as an Army Corps of Engineers Battalion. Army Corps of Engineers Battalion, yeah. Who were deep in the Arizona deserts constructing roads and bridges on that fateful day when the bombs fell. Their isolation saved their lives, but could do nothing for their frightened, broken hearts. One can only imagine the horror they felt as they listened to reports of their home cities and states being obliterated one after the other on their radios. Can you imagine that? Just being hunkered down somewhere listening to the radio. Maybe you're on a vacation, just... I guess you wouldn't really listen to radio these days, but some podcast or live streaming of news or something. And just sitting there enjoying a nice, cold, refreshing glass of water or Coke or your favorite margarita or whatever. And then all of a sudden, they start talking about nuclear war and bombs falling and things obliterating, and you can kinda see flashes of light in the distance and hear distant rumbles. Can you imagine the terror? I can't. Yeah. The engineers did not know how or why the nuclear war happened, no more than we do today. But their supplies, military training, and knowledge of the region gave them advantages over their fellow survivors during the apocalypse and the chaotic years that would follow. They commandeered a nearby federal prison, being welcomed as saviors by the few remaining prison guards, and in a show of mercy that might have perhaps been better if tempered by wisdom, the Rangers freed the prisoners into the desert. So they don't know how or why the nuclear war happened, and in the aftermath, when the world is royally messed up, I think that doesn't really matter as much. Because even if you know who started it, here we are. Play the blame game all you want, but you're still gonna be stuck in this irradiated, destroyed boat of a planet. So why? Perhaps they felt that the apocalypse had already killed enough people. Perhaps they simply didn't want to waste ammo if it would have... the ammo it would have taken to execute them. In any case, the prisoners survived, which led to a volatile mix of survivors all living together in the Wasteland. Isolated farming communities, scientists from secretive research facilities, citizens of small towns just looking to get by. But opposite them were not just the rapidly mutating monsters of the desert, but equally monstrous humans, cultists, and cannibals. Many of these threats were from the original prison population, as well as formerly law-abiding citizens who saw the end of the world as an excuse to abandon all of civilization's constraints. I am not surprised that people would turn to cannibalism if food is scarce. I mean, the reasons we generally don't practice cannibalism is because of the morality of it, the ethics of it, and also because I think I read something about it being prone to some sort of diseases or stuff if we eat our own. I haven't really delved deeper into cannibalism because I just, like most people, feel the idea of eating a human kind of reprehensible. But if we were in this situation where it was either eat a human or die of starvation, what would one do? Sitting here, being able to go buy some instant noodles or just go order a pizza. Of course you would say, oh, I would never do that. Would you really, if you were in that situation though? Never know until you're there. Faced with such villains, the army engineers could have hidden in the prison and lived only for their own survival, but they did not. Hearing the cries for help coming from distant radios, they invited many to join them behind their strong walls. They aided other, more established towns, helping them build walls and protect their homes, training them in the arts of defense and war, and helping them develop into strong, stable communities. That's nice. History of Desert Rangers Part 2, and I'm going to wait for Part 3. Let's see, what else do we have here? We have a trash can, the blood staff, a gnarled wooden staff with a disgusting reddish tinge and a crust of dried gore at the business end. Just looking at it fills you with a nameless dread. Does it really? What do we have here? A Red Rider carbine action 200-shot range model air rifle with a compass in the stock and a thing which tells you the time. If you're not careful with it, you'll shoot your eye out with it. So it's a kind of a high-tech but not sci-fi gun. Oh. I can repair it? Well, let's not. Let's see, this gun is so big and bulky that it has to be mounted on tank treads. Looks like it could pack a wallop. A small placard on the ground reads, Mason Cannon. While the cannon has been dead for years, its parts seem to be in working order. Someone with knowledge of machines and how to repair them might be able to get a little power flowing. Whoops. Let's try. Let's just see what happens. If we don't critically fail. Well, we critically failed, so we're gonna... Okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Whatever. Let's not load again if we critically fail something. A computer of some kind, gently illuminating the area with dim lights. Wasteland Snake? Find Water? By PFC Vargas. Vargas made a game? WASD, okay. We're gonna play Water Snake. Ooh, this is kinda how Wasteland 1 almost looked, isn't it? And it's just Snake, but going for the blue dots. I remember having Snake on my very first mobile phone. I'm fairly certain it was a Nokia. Just... Oh! I came over! Your life has ended in the wasteland! Okay, 7. I found 7 blue dots. Oh? Statue. Ooh, skill points. This statue shows the back of a head with 3 tentacles instead of a body, each gripping a stiletto knife. The opposite side of the head shows the same. A plaque at the base says, A Ranger. In the year of Who the Fuck Cares? Eric Tidemann. Excuse me? Admiring this statue fills your squad with a sense of purpose. Each squad member gained +1 skill point. You've learned all you can from this statue. This was the blood staff. That was the carbine. Can't do anything with the dartboard. Or this. Scratch is Proteus. Alright. Seems like it was only yesterday. Yesterday for what? Well, I almost thought there was gonna be a door here as well. So this is clearly gonna be an elevator, isn't it? Going down, it looks like. We have Grenadier Benjamin Spangler, Master Grenadier Christopher Burr. Halt goes. Oh, it's you, carry on. This ranger is equipped with a fierce-looking weapon and impressive armor. Looks like security is taken very seriously around here. Nothing out of the ordinary. Levi hand. Rangers. Ooh. Okay. Carefully examining the door, Razardos finds a lock that I cannot open. I had a 0% chance of unlocking it. Also, I don't think they would take very kindly to me lock-picking doors in the Ranger Citadel. Hello? I was about to say, is that very healthy? But I see that you're actually having it just above the ventilation shaft, so that's good. Is the ventilation shaft working, or are you just hoping that the smoke finds its own way out? The mess hall is a big room with battered picnic tables and benches lined up in rows and old posters on the walls. At one end is the service counter, lined with trays of food and water coolers that look like they were salvaged from pre-war offices. Behind the counter is the kitchen. Big pots of stew boil on the stove. Tending the fire is the head cook. As you approach, he gives you a wave and a shout. Water! It looks clean. You could top off your canteen here if you'd like. I did that outside, but thank you. Good to see you, recruits. Hope everyone's greeting you okay. Let's talk to Corporal Jeff Hungerford. Because of course the cook is called Hungerford. A squat old guy with muscular arms, a bandana around his bald head, and a bloody "Kiss the Cook" apron around his beer-barreled gut. He has an eye patch over his left eye and a voice like a garbage disposal. Right on, brothers. Better grab some of this grub before the rats get it. Just kidding. The rats don't last long around here. They go into the stew pot just like everything else. Now, what can I get you? So, your name's Hungry? Been living with that joke all my life, and it didn't get easier once they made me the cook. Could have been worse. I knew a guy once named Richard Stroker. Dick Stroker. You have water for our canteens here? Mellison must have sent you. He always sends the new recruits to fill up on water and ignores the well outside. Well, it's right there in those coolers. Might be the last clean water you see until you get back here and outside those doors, so take plenty and drink it slow. So what's Sergeant Melson like? That boy is a menace. Eats twice his share and never shuts up. Knows his stuff. He'll steer you right as far as guns and gear goes. Alright, thanks for the info. Later, brothers, and don't forget to fill up on water. Hey, brothers, I owe you for saving shit take farms. I could use their mushrooms. Yep. Again, if I had known that High Pool was the water source of the Wasteland, I would have gone there first. But, now the die roll decided. An older ranger wearing an immaculate uniform stands by one of the cafeteria tables, or actually sits down. He salutes as you approach. I'm Corporal Even Hawko, one of the recruiters here at the Citadel. I always like to make sure that you new kids are settling in. You're doing fine, from all accounts. I'm also the liaison for any volunteers who wish to help out the Rangers on a non-permanent basis. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. Got a minute? Sure, go ahead. Great! So, from time to time while you're on patrol, you're gonna meet folks who'll want to help you out. Most have their own reasons for volunteering, a grudge against somebody, an excuse to get out of town, whatever. Well, we welcome them all. Extra hands are always appreciated, but we try to limit the number of volunteers in one ranger team to 3. And more than that, and it's hard to keep them in line. Have you seen the raiders I sent here? Not rangers. So, what happens when you got more volunteers than spots to put them in? You send them to us. That's what. If you want a volunteer to be able to join you later, just tell them to come to the Citadel, and we'll take care of them until you're ready. You'll find them here in the mess hall or around the Citadel enjoying our hospitality. Got it? I think he's talking about followers. So yeah, I got it. Oh, and as an added incentive, I'm authorized to offer you a bonus for every volunteer you recruit. The more you bring in, the higher the bonus you'll receive. Ooh, what kind of bonuses are you offering? We provide 2 types of bonuses. The first is a scrap entitlement, which you can use to purchase whatever you want. The second is an accelerated promotion merit, which allows you to rise more quickly in the ranks, so money and experience. The type of bonus you receive is up to you. Well, we found a possible recruit. Good work. What's their name? I guess these are raiders. Can we get credit for letting Angela into our team? That's a good one, recruits. Captain Death's been here ever since I was a recruit myself. I'm not saying she's old or anything, I would never say that. Especially not with her listening. She'd kill me. Her name is Rose. She's a scientist from Ag Center, so why is she called Sister Rose? Excellent! A lot of teams forget that it takes more than raw strength to survive in the wastes. You gotta have some brains too. So, what type of enlistment bonus would you prefer? Scrap. 50 scrap? Sure, I need all that money for... I need all the money for ammo. We have Takayuki. His name is Takayuki. We met him at the Level Up Canyon Mines. Good choice. Miners are hard workers and they're used to harsh condition. Now, what kind of enlistment bonus would you prefer? Scrap. 100 scrap. Ooh. Fine choice. So... Raiders, eh? His name is Spike. He was a raider, but we convinced him to join the Rangers. Feel free to shoot him. Yeah, General Vargas told me all about that trio of fumbling idiots you sent us. Tell you what, I'll give you 1 bonus for the lot. What type of enlistment bonus would you prefer? Scrap. 150? Alright, so finding followers will actually give me more than just cannon fodder. It'll give me money or experience. Grenadier Major Aaron Zelek. Hungry knows what he's doing. Grenadier Stephen Pate? Yeah, have you met Dr. Lawson? She's amazing, the total package. I has not. That's a mess hall.
Hiya, hungry. What's for lunch?
Or perhaps...
Delicious.
Okay, hungry probably said something about food. A stark functional room that smells of gun oil and leather. Behind a counter protected by a steel banker's cage, you see rows of metal shelves going back into darkness. The shelves are piled with weapons, armor, uniforms, and other gear. There are also filing cabinets along one wall and clipboards hanging from nails beside a message board. Standing at the counter is a beefy young sergeant. He gives you a sly smile and an exaggerated salute as you enter. Am I allowed to steal? Ooh, storage locker. I thought this was actually... Am I allowed to put stuff in here? Is this where I can just shove all my useless stuff? Congrats on cleaning up that plant plague. Now we get to eat more vegetables. Yay. The young sergeant has the build and hearty confidence of a born jock. I thought that said bomb jock, and I was just, what the hell is a bomb jock? As a born jock. His neck is bigger around than his head. Oh. Lucky for mine. Ooh, that's... E. And his biceps strain the sleeves of his tight t-shirt. Jeez, they haven't even assigned you your bunks yet, and already the old man sent you off on a couple do-or-die missions. Well, that's the way it goes in the Desert Rangers these days, I'm sorry to say. So we better get you kitted out ASAP. You ready to equip yourselves, or do we have some questions first? We do have a few questions. Ask away. If you want to know about any of the gear, name it. If you got questions about the Citadel, I can help you out there too. Where can we store our extra equipment? See that ranger locker behind you by the wall? If you want, your team can use it to store extra gear. Don't worry, I'll make sure that nobody messes with it. Perfect. I'm gonna shove all of the things I've read in there. The gear I'm gonna keep on me to see if I need to sell them or make them into weapon parts. Well, not weapon parts, but scrap them. Still don't know what the hell to do with weapon parts. Ranger Citadel. What about it? Otherwise known as the Ranger Clubhouse. This will be your home away from home as long as you're a ranger. And there are worse places to live, believe me. The food's good, the water's clean, and you're surrounded by your best pals, a bunch of badass desert rangers who've got your back no matter what. Who could ask for better than that? Hooah! What about if I set off a nuke? Are you still gonna be my friends? Is there anything we can help you with? Nah, I'm good. Well, actually there is one thing now that I think about it. Now that us rangers are getting active again, we're starting to use a lot more ammo and I'm running low. To make more, I need as much brass, lead, and steel as I can get my hands on, so if you acquire any broken weapon parts, especially the junk that's left over from modding your weapons, bring them back to me and I'll buy them at a premium. I like raw materials, but seeing as how the only metal we get is from our weekly level up deliveries, broken down parts of all weapons will work. Well, that answers that question, doesn't it? So, instead of holding on to weapons to potentially sell them, I can make sure to always break them down, hope I get actual mods, but if I don't, I can just sell them to you. Perfect. Old man? Oops, did I say that out loud? Don't tell Vargas that I called him that. He'll hit me with his cane, the old bastard. You think Vargas is too old for his job? I wouldn't say that. The general's a good man, but, well, he's not exactly a man of action anymore, is he? I mean, he kicked ass back in the days of base coat cheese and Finster, but nowadays it feels like we're all just sitting around on our asses most of the time, you know? Who was Finster? Some kind of mutant master. Finster created all these mutants and tried to take over the world with them, or something. Anyway, Vargas and the other guys kicked his ass and made the world safe for humanity again. At least that's how Flintlock tells it. What was base coat cheese then? Well, the greatest threats the Rangers ever faced, or so the old Rangers say. A bunch of robots in an old military base. Doesn't sound like that big a deal to me, but whatever. I just wish that something big would happen now. I'm tired of hearing old war stories. I want to live through some stories of my own. Be careful what you wish for, because it might come true. Depending on whatever the hell these radio transmissions are gonna be. See, we need to go to Rail Nomads. No? Rail Nomads is where I wanna go. We need to get to Damanta to put up the repeaters so we can triangulate the signal, but Damanta is on the other side of the radiation clouds to the... not west, but east. I got a lot of stuff to do. How do you feel about the Rangers? The shining beacon of decency in a dark land, ain't that what the old man says? Well, we try. You can't be as honorable as the general says when you're out in the wasteland, though. Not if you want to survive. Way I see it, you be as honorable as possible after you make sure that the other guy is dead. Yeah, I kinda learned that from the trader we ran into. Didn't want to buy from him, so he killed us. What do you mean, do or die? Well, choosing between High Pool and Ag Center wasn't exactly easy, now was it? And following up on those radio signals already killed Captain Ace. Okay, that's cold, I know, but it pissed me off. How did one of our best men die on such a bullshit mission? And now Vargas is sending you to finish the job? Hey, I'm glad that you found Ace's murderer, but it's not gonna stop there. He's gonna send you to find the same stupid signal. You knew Ace well? Ace was one of the best. All us Rangers looked up to him. Now he's dead. Murdered. And for what? So that we could chase some radio signal that might or might not be a threat for us somewhere down the line? Sometimes I just don't get the General's thinking at all. Wait, so you don't think the radio mission is important? I don't know why Vargas is so gung-ho to find the signal. It already killed Captain Ace, and it might kill you too. For nothing, as far as I can see. It's probably just some old pre-recorded message. There's probably no one there at all. That is a distinct possibility, actually. You don't think the signal is a threat? 2 question marks? More like a waste of time, if you ask me. We got bigger troubles here, right in our own backyard. Why we gotta go chasing radio ghosts? What troubles? Well, the Red Scorpions won. I'm afraid if we leave them to their own devices, they're gonna get too big to put down. How do you feel about the Red Scorpions, even though you already told me? The biggest gang around right now, and they're getting more organized every day. I say we should be going after them and leaving these bullshit radio signals alone. ¿Por qué no los dos? Did you hear that he was killed by a robot? I hadn't. I'd heard you found something weird and were bringing it to Mercaptain, though. Right. Thanks for reminding me. Can you show us what's available? Sure, have a look at what we got while I get your requisition forms ready. And make sure you choose wisely. Won't last a day out in the wastes without proper equipment and water. Armor. Bulletproof. Should really be bullet resistant because there's really no such thing as bulletproof. Combat armor. I don't remember what you're wearing. Okay. How do you feel about guns? You have a farmer's rifle. I already have that one. I have a shotgun. No one can... You can but just buy a pickaxe. Ooh, combat knife. 20 to 28 damage for 3 AP. Sure, I can't attack diagonally. But it also has 4 armor penetration. Already have those. Damn! We have a pulse rifle. Still don't have anyone that knows energy weapons, no? Oh, we have a handgun. But it requires 9... Oh, that is a good handgun. Holy crap. I think I found my main supplier. I mean, I don't have any 9mm ammo, but I'm sure that you sell some. Sniper rifle. 45. 9mm ammo. Oh, you are well stocked, my friend. I'm gonna sell you some weapon parts. Is that okay? No? Oh, maybe I should do this. 560! Buy them from me! Do you want some shit? See, always save items with white text. +1 toaster repair skill. Oh, we know where that one's going. Also this one. Hey there, Pup Scout. Want to learn how to have tons of fun and stay safe on your next camping trip? This book is packed with tips for having a good time in the great big wilderness. Wilderness? +1 outdoorsman. If I find more followers, I am going to get rid of Angela Death, so I don't want to use this book on her. Fix it! This book has tons of useful advice on fixing anything. The chapter on radio repair has been bookmarked. There's a chapter on toaster repair you find fascinating. Oh, I do. So, I'm oh, 28 experience. Oh, thanks for bringing in the weapon parts. It's tough keeping all these mooks in bullets, but this delivery will help a lot. Keep bringing me what you find and I'll keep paying extra. He pays extra and gives me experience points. So finding water is really a problem? I don't see that. I've seen lots of oases. More people die from thirst out in the waste than from bullets, so you'd be wise to top off your canteens every time you head out. We got plenty for you over in the mess hall. Give me a moment, I need to... Let's see, you're gonna be stripped for parts. 50% chance of junk weapon parts. Nice. Let's see, we would have gotten about 40... Well, if we sold the weapon, shows what's available. I just want to see how much I would be able to sell them for. Oh yeah, that's worth it. That's worth stripping down.
Hey, Melson. How are the guns?
Banging as always, Angie. I like that she talks to people and they reply. That's a nice little touch. Alright, do I have any other weapons I wanna break down? I do have this one. That does minimum 49 damage. Don't have anyone who knows heavy weapons. And it does use assault rifle ammo, so break that down. 100%. 10 of them. Sort here. Oh, look at this. There's this old conundrum. Well, seeing as there are pretty damn good handguns out there, maybe I'll buy Rose a 9mm one, so she stops sucking so much ass. And let Pills keep this one. And then I'm still kind of curious, kind of thinking about maybe putting her into submachine guns. I'll definitely get rid of this one. Oh, I got a small scope from it. Nice. That is nice. You have so much ammunition. Maybe I'll just save the machine gun, submachine gun. Just in case. Yeah. Small scope, 3 weaponsmithing, plus 3 maximum range. Well... Hell, I don't know exactly where to put that one. Because this gun has... Now it has... slightly longer maximum range. If we strip this one down... Yes. More weapon parts. I love it. I love it. Energy weapon, 9 to 16. Which isn't the best damage. Oh yeah, there we see. If it's conductive, you do 2.5 times damage. And if it's just normal damage, you do 40% of actual damage. So, yeah. Whoever uses energy weapons is probably gonna need something else. Maybe we'll find a follower somewhere that knows energy weapons? I can hope. I'm gonna save this one just in case. They have a freaking umbrella. You know what? Why not? Right, so... Oh. Is that... Oh, that's only for you, because you're weapon doing. So go to our little storage. I'm just gonna do some inventory management, alright? I'll fix this. And we're back. We did a few changes. I put everything that I didn't want with me in the storage locker, like I said. There's a submachine gun and an energy weapon in here. But I also purchased a few new guns. I did not buy a handgun. I wanted to, but I did not. Just did not have enough money. I know I just bought a new assault rifle just outside the gates. But I didn't know there was gonna be a better assault rifle in here, so I now have an M16. 45 to 59 damage. It's modded. 81% hit chance. 0% chance to jam. Formal armor penetration. And can also burst shots. 5 AP for a single shot. Yes, this is damn good. And Cold Eye got himself a new sniper rifle. It's a bullpup sniper rifle. 44 to 58 damage. 83% hit chance. A 0% chance to jam. 30 meters range, which is only 2 meters less than his previous gun. Which also used 6 AP to shoot 1 shot. And a 5 armor penetration. So, yeah, I wanted to give Rose the 9mm handgun. Or give it to Pills and then give Rose the old Navy revolver. But no. And yeah, I could have saved the FAMAS as a secondary weapon so I didn't have to reload in battle, but you know what? Screw that, we are committed to this. We now have upgrades in the form of doing more damage. We're still gonna take a shit ton of damage though, because I didn't buy any armor. That's just how things go. A large, well-lit room filled with noisy machines and men and women in black aprons working at lathes and drill presses, turning steel into guns. It smells of gun oil and hot metal. Master Grenadier Matthew Rogers. Can't talk right now. Ranger Robert Bowling. Bowling is fun. Recruits, huh? Me too. Better see Captain Mercaptain at her drawing board. She always likes to welcome the new bastards. Captain Mercaptain feels a little bit redundant. I haven't seen a Captain
It was a
Mercaptain
farm
yet.
you saved, yes? I'm glad you're cleaning up Ag Center's mess. What a disaster.
Why are you sparkling? You are so sparkly. I would not dare to walk around with that contraption on me. A youthful, determined-looking woman stands by a drafting table, a thoughtful furrow creasing her brow as she sketches. She's also a shop. Looking closer, you see that the woman isn't quite as youthful as she seems. There are a few grey hairs among the brown and a lot of lines around her eyes, but she sketches with the keen-eyed intensity of a younger woman.
A very tough decision, considering it was your first time out. Ag Center was a good choice, though. There are great scientists over there.
High pool would have been better due to water, but I guess there are plenty of oases out in the wasteland, so in the end, I relent. Ag Center might have been the better choice. General Vargas said to bring in this robot leg that we found at Ace's murder site. Also, we have a piece of AI synth chip something you might want to take a look at.
Let's have a look at it. Oh wait, I almost forgot. Did the General tell you? He was so pleased that you found Ace's killer that he authorized a requisition order for you. You were to have your pick of some of my more interesting creations.
Oh, thank you. I was about to blow my gasket if you said that I was able to pick a free weapon or something from over there. That would have been horrible. Requisition, eh? What have you got for us?
Some very nice pieces. Let's see. The General allocated a requisition for you for completing a thorough investigation of Captain Ace's death site.
Yeah, very thorough. We went over it twice in order to try and find more logbook pages.
Old Flintlock sent over a requisition with your name on it. Said he hopes better armaments will prevent further deaths.
It's gonna be for you, right? From you, not from him. Although if we get it from him, we can buy that 9mm handgun. So I got 2 requisitions allocated for you. Ooh, 2 requisitions? I guess so, because these cost all of 1. These suck ass. I'm going for trinkets. -10 evasion. Yeah, that ain't good. Just 3% critical chance? I'll take that. +1 mechanical repair? I'll take that.
Looks like you're out of requisitions, Rangers. Remember, it's just 1 item per rec. I'll let you know when I've got more for you.
What have you got for us?
Some very nice pieces. Let's see. Not seeing anything allocated for you, Rangers. Sorry.
It was worth a try. So what do you think of General Vargas?
Vargas is a man of vision and prudence. I know a lot of the Rangers think he's too cautious, but I can't agree. Slow and steady is the way to go. He's done an amazing job rebuilding the Rangers after our war with the robots from Base Cochise, and we're stronger than ever before. That doesn't mean, however, that we should now go charging off to fight everybody and their brother. We must expand gradually and fully assess all threats before taking action.
While I do agree it has been, from what I understand, 15 years. Does it really take 15 years to rebuild your forces? I mean, I guess if you start with people who know absolutely nothing, but that would still only take a few years. Unless people keep dying and you have to replace them recruits with new recruits and teach those people, learn those people up? Teach those people the ropes. But yeah, I do think he might be just a tad too cautious, but because it seems like everyone feels that the Rangers are less than they should be and what they have been. But I don't know. I need to explore more of the Wasteland to give me a the big picture. What threats do we face?
The others say that our biggest threat is the Red Scorpion militia, who have taken over the prison which used to be our headquarters. They've been getting more organized and settled, and the fear is, now that they've established themselves, they'll start expanding their borders. What I say is, this will make them easier to negotiate with. Nomadic raiders have nothing to lose. A clan with towns and farms to protect thinks twice about risking their destruction by going to war. I say our biggest threat is expanding too fast. Let's make sure the communities we patrol are fully protected before we go looking for more.
Well, I do agree with that. Expanding too fast will just spread your forces way too thin, and you will, in the end, be able to protect absolutely nothing. But I still do think that you should be expanding a little bit more than you already are. What was base Cochise for the umpteenth time?
A pre-war research facility, dedicated to the science of robotics. Its mainframe was malfunctioning, and kept building more and more robots and sending them out to defend itself against imaginary enemies. The Rangers destroyed the computer and the robots and saved the world, which is, of course, a good thing, but...
But, just today, read an article about, I don't remember his name, but some dude who was the driving force behind the neural net AI and stuff we're doing right now, and he actually expressed concerns that within 5 or even 10 years, 5-10 years, expressed concerns that we're gonna have an AI superintelligence that is going to decide that humans are not worth having around and kill us all. I mean, basically any one of us could say duh to that because we have seen movies and read fiction with rampant AIs. We'll see what happens, won't we?
Well, I wish I had been a ranger then. From all reports, the sophistication of the computer's AI was incredible, and its death was a great loss to science. I can't help thinking that, had I been there, I might have been able to find a way to shut it down without destroying it. What a tool for good it could have been.
Could it really? I guess we're done here, because we don't have more requisitions. Thanks for the help, Captain.
Thanks for visiting, recruits. Come by anytime.
A woman
And go
of
see Sergeant
science.
Nelson if you're looking to shop.
Lovely to make her acquaintance.
Rose, don't you know it's rude to interrupt other people while they're talking? Now, I still do have... No, she took that one, alright. She took everything. We still have the... Okay. Let's dole these out. Mechanical repair goes to Cold Eye, because he has mechanical repair. I mean, we can flag this one as junk now. And then the 3% critical chance. It's gotta be better than Animal Whisperer, eh? We can just flag this one as junk as well. A small toy bow. Its foam rubber darts are long since lost. Ship in a bottle. A cruise ship rests inside a glass bottle with a paper label SS Norway. How did they get it in there? How indeed. I have never looked up.
This place is awesome.
Psst, recruits. Bowling? Bowling. He is now a shop as well. I have never looked up how they make ships in a bottle. I probably should. Because it's kinda... Hey, over here. A gaunt man in his 30s hunches over a table cleaning and oiling gun parts. He is smeared with oil and sweat and seems to be trembling slightly. Listen, I heard you talking to Mercaptain right now, and well, everything she's got is solid merchandise, but as you may have noticed, Melson is gonna make you pay through the nose for the good stuff. Well, I got a little toy collection of my own, and I would be willing to let some of them go for a lot cheaper than she will. Interested? What kind of good stuff? All the big guns, energy weapons, rockets, sniper rifles, all top quality. I made them myself. Do you want some? What's the catch? And they won't jam up every other shot? I swear, they're just as good as the one that Melson has, but at 1/5 of the price. What do you say? Cheap weapons? Yeah, we're interested. Cool, but listen, you can't tell the boss, Mercaptain, I'm doing this, or she'll fire me. Okay? I mean, what's really the harm? We won't tell. Great, here's what I got. "95% chance to jam." Come on, I'm trying to raise money for a family emergency. Why does your family need money? I'm trying to help out my sister. I can't tell you any more than that, but it's important, I promise. Come on, can't you do a guy a favor? Is your sister in trouble? Sorry, I'm not saying anything more about it. Will you help me out? Buy a gun or two? Smartass level 2 required. Damn. Why are you so eager to sell these guns? Something's gotta be wrong. God damn, Echo, you guys my therapist now? Want me to go lie down on the couch so that you can psychoanalyze me? Either you want the guns or you don't. Which is it? So yeah, it does look like I might need to have someone pick up Smartass. Though we do have Hardass here. What we want is know what's going on. Something's up. Tell us what it is. You're right. Look, it's my sister, like I said before. If you ain't interested in the guns, gotta get a letter to her. It's important. But I can't leave the Citadel. I can't get the time off. Would you take this to her? She lives in Rail Nomads camp. Her name is Katie. Katie. And tell her that I'm sorry. Well, that's just another reason to go to the Rail Nomads. First reason being that we found the map where the Rail Nomads was encircled by the robots. Sure, we'll take the letter. Thank you. I owe you one. Here. So what's so important about this letter? Never mind what's so important. It's private. Between me and her. Will you take the letter? Oh, I need some more levels and kiss ass too. So their relationship is none of my business. I am going to report him to Mercaptain though, because trying to sell weapons with a 95% chance to jam is going to get some rangers killed.
That should work. What can I do for you?
What's Sergeant Melson like?
He knows his guns, I'll give him that. Though I wouldn't have him in my shop. He's not nearly focused enough.
The problem is, if we get him fired now, where will he go? Maybe we should deliver the letter first and then tell on him. But Rangers could die in the meantime. Well,
Thanks for visiting, recruit.
I feel like the other Rangers are
Go
going
see
to...
Sergeant
some
Nelson
kind of
if you're looking to
monster-killing
shop.
blade.
Yeah, I feel like the other Rangers are going to be smart enough to see that the guns are of very inferior quality, just like we could. General Vargas sits in the room, an old grey wolf in a dark cave, talking calmly into the mic. When he notices you, takes off his headphones and turns to you. No, he doesn't.
Hey, Woodson. What do you hear?
Welcome back to Ranger Citadel, recruits.
Everything, Angela, everything. Woodson. Sergeant Wade Woodson, one of the most technically minded members of the Rangers. He is wearing a makeshift pair of glasses and is starting to gray at the temples.
Welcome, recruits. Nice to make your acquaintance. Good work saving the day and attaching the repeater units at Ag Center. The General and I thank you. Now I'm guessing you're here to learn more about these mysterious broadcasts you've been helping us with.
Oh, I sure am. Tell us more about the broadcasts.
We don't know where they're coming from, or who's making them. Hell, they could be old pre-war recordings for all we know. But we've been hearing them since the skies started to clear. And they've got a threatening sound to them, so we've been trying to learn more about them. Which is what we sent Ace out to do when that robot murdered him.
Since the skies started to clear?
Now, you've already attached one of our repeater units to the radio tower at the Ag Center. But because you were unable to do the same at High Pool, we're in a bit of a bind. See, we intended to make a Watson-Watt Adcock antenna array using those two towers.
A what?
Our tower here and the tower where Ace died. Linking those four would have allowed us to pinpoint the origin of the signal. Now, however, we're going to have to try to find the radio tower the General already mentioned to you in Damjan. If it even exists.
Right, because at the place of Ace's death, we did find a radio tower. We fixed the thing, we got a Morse code. I should really have written down the Morse code and looked up what it said. I can always go back there and listen to it. Got all that? Good. What do the skies have to do with it?
Well, it's only a theory, but my guess is that the fallout that's been floating around up there in the ionosphere since the war has been muddying things up there.
Probably.
Stopping long-range broadcasts from being reflected back to Earth. Now, maybe the fallout is starting to decay, and the ionosphere is slowly returning to normal, allowing it to reflect radio waves like it used to back in the good old days. Or not. I only know what I read in salvage books.
That's a good theory. Much better than anything I could think of. Whatever caused it, we're definitely picking up more distant radio signals these days than we were able to even 3 months ago. I see. So what is a repeater unit again?
We use the repeater units to boost a weak radio signal out in the field and transmit the data back to the Citadel. And let me tell you, it was hell trying to find enough parts to make the ones we needed. Which is why I'm so glad you were able to find the ones Ace was carrying.
What do you know about the Ag Center?
I'm so glad you were able to save Ag Center. They're doing so much to develop hardier animal and plant stock that will survive out here in the wastes. It would have been a real blow to have lost them.
And what are you gonna say? Tell me about High Pool?
I'm sorry you weren't able to save High Pool. Its reservoir and treatment plant provided water for us and the other communities in the area. It will be sorely missed.
We still have the Oasis though, while there's basically nothing else growing in the Wasteland. So yes, on the whole, I am glad that the die told me to go to Ag Center. What's a Woodson Adcock antenna array?
You sure you want to hear this? Most people's eyes glaze over when I start getting technical.
Lay it on me.
Really? Okay, you asked for it. So with the traditional Watson-Watt method of radio direction finding techniques, it is possible to find the direction from which a radio signal was transmitted using two Adcock antenna pairs to perform an amplitude comparison on the incoming signal. An Adcock antenna pair is a pair of antennas that take the vector difference of the received signal at each antenna so that there is only one output from the pair of antennas. Two of these pairs generate what can be referred to as north-south and east-west signals, which will then be passed to the receiver. In the receiver, the bearing angle can be computed by taking the arctangent of the radio of the north-south to east-west signal. Given any four antennas of a known distance from each other, this method can establish a very accurate directional vector on an incoming signal.
Say what?
Satisfied?
Sure. Basically, mumbo jumbo, triangulate signal, done. What do you think of General Vargas? You should probably speak in a lower tone of voice so he doesn't hear you.
Well, I'm not going to say anything bad about the General when I'm sitting right next to him, am I?
You better not, Woodson. I'll take away your smokes ration.
See? But seriously, I think the General has been a wise and cautious leader these past 15 years. Some of the boys may think he keeps it a little too cautious, but they're not the ones who have to feel the calls when good men die.
Fair point.
Since we started hearing these strange broadcasts, he decided that the quiet times are over, and his place is here, on the air, listening to the people of the wastes and sending his troops into battle.
Well, that's better than someone who just sits behind the desk and does nothing. I mean, in his condition, he can't really join the troops on the front line now, can he? He can barely walk. So, taking over the radio communications and actually talking to his troops and listening to them and communicating is still far better than many other leaders. So that's respectable. What do you mean by quiet?
Well, we spent the 15 years since we defeated the base code chief's AI retrenching, rebuilding the Citadel, rebuilding our numbers, solidifying our position. It made us a stronger organization, I think. But we also have a smaller footprint now. And some of the places we used to patrol have kind of fallen off the map. Now, though, I think it's time to wake up. The world is changing. These crazy broadcasts, the Red Scorpions in the old prison, reports of trade routes to the east, where we thought there was nothing but radiation. If the Rangers still want to be a force for good in the world, then we gotta start stepping out beyond our own backyard.
Yes, why did your volume and kinda a little bit your cadence also change? Because he was talking about something important, I guess. East. East of what?
We always thought the radiation east of the prison was just too strong, and that travel that way was impossible. But now the Scorpions are claiming they've established trade with a community beyond the radiation called Damjan, and also with a group calling themselves the Servants of Titan. We're not welcome in Scorpion territory,
Titan?
so we can't check the truth of all of this. But they do seem to be getting better weaponry from somewhere, so maybe it's legit.
Prison? Anything to say about the prison?
Our old home base. Not bad for what it was, but we've been outgrowing it for decades. When we cleared the previous owners out of this place, we saw an opportunity to make a move.
I still want to know more about the Guardians of the Old Order who were here before. Who are the Red Scorpions?
The Red Scorpion Militia. They took over the old prison when we moved out. Not really much more than a raider gang. But they're starting to tell everybody that they're the real law in Arizona. And they're asking people to call them for help instead of us. Maybe they're really trying to shape up, but I doubt it. Sounds more like an old-fashioned shakedown scheme to me.
I mean, yeah, while you have been retrenching and making your footprint a little bit smaller out here in the Arizona Wasteland, you have basically left the entire east part of Arizona in the hands of the Red Scorpion Militia. So of course they would actually take over, expand, organize. Can't have expected anything else. The base coach's AI, what's that for the 11th time?
It was the Rangers' greatest enemy, though really all it was a malfunctioning machine. The mainframe of a pre-war military facility that somehow got it into its circuit board head that everybody in the world was its enemy. It started pumping out robots to defend itself. And if we hadn't stopped it, those robots could have killed everyone in Arizona.
So basically, Terminator. You've heard of Damjan?
I've been hearing the Red Scorpions radio chatter about this place for more than a year now. They claim it's somewhere beyond the eastern radiation clouds. I hope they're right. The radio tower that Gilbert says is rumored to be there could be our only hope for tracking down those mysterious broadcasts.
Who is Gilbert?
Not my department.
Alright. Thanks for the info, Woodson.
All right. Good luck out there. You'll be hearing from
Welcome
us.
back to Ranger Citadel.
A tough
recruits.
choice, recruits, with no good outcomes. Still, you chose well. Ag Center is crucial to our plans for Arizona.
Alright.
Welcome back to Ranger Citadel, recruits.
Thanks, Vargas. A stiff-bearded older man wearing a hard-worn ranger uniform and a battered old cowboy hat. General Vargas walks with a cane, but he is not helpless. He wears a pearl-handled revolver on his hip, and there are a lot of notches on the barrel.
So you saved Ag Center at the expense of High Pool. A tough decision, and I know it must weigh heavily on your minds. But a choice had to be made. And once you chose Ag Center, you did all you could to save it and its people. I'm particularly pleased that you went out of your way to help Matt Forrestal. He was a great ranger, remains a credit to our organization now that he's left. Also, let me personally thank you for finding Ace's killer, whatever it was.
I mean, if we're gonna be completely honest, we didn't save Matt purely for altruistic reasons. We were infected ourselves and we needed a cure. So, he was basically our guinea pig. To make sure that the cure worked.
I'm sorry your initiation into the Rangers has been such a trial by fire, but you've proven yourself tough under pressure, and in my eyes, that makes you fit to be a Ranger. You have earned the name. Welcome aboard, Rangers. Now, any questions?
Oh, do I have questions? We're not gonna report to him, because we're saving that. Thank you for letting us into the Citadel, sir.
It is your home now, recruits. A place to rest and resupply between missions. A place to learn and to share your knowledge with others. But it's more than that. Despite its tarnished history, the Citadel is a force for good, a shining beacon of justice in a dark land, a bulwark against barbarism in a world of lawlessness and brutality. Indeed, it is the furrowed field out of which the seeds of order will grow into a new and better civilization.
That is a very beautiful and inspiring speech, sir.
Hey, forgive me. Get carried away sometimes, but I do believe we are making a difference despite my shortcomings, and that our flame must not be allowed to be snuffed out. That's why we need young, motivated recruits like yourselves.
Shortcomings, sir? Surely not.
I've been too cautious, recruits. Since we took this place over 15 years ago, I focused too much on keeping the peace in areas we know, and not enough on outside threats. I wanted to rebuild, get our numbers up, but all I've really been doing is letting the world pass us by. Well, that's gotta change, and the change starts with you. You are going to find out where this threat is coming from.
Alright, sir, we will do our very best. Where can we resupply, sir? We already know because we've been through the entire Citadel.
You'll want to talk to our quartermaster, Sergeant Melson, about that. He'll provide you with all the weapons, armor, and gear you need to carry out your duties in the Wastelands. You may also want to talk to Ethel Mercaptain or TNT Tan if you need something special.
TNT Tan? I haven't seen that person. TNT Tan? Sir?
Our munitions expert. Crazy bastard is gonna blow us all up one day. Does good work though. In the field, his ordnance is highly reliable. It's just his workshop that scares the bejesus out of me.
I would be kind of scared too if someone was working with explosives inside my headquarters. A place to learn, sir?
We have a library here, where we compile maps and information about the region to help us with our work. If you want to know about any old tech or ancient knowledge, go talk to old Flintlock there. If you've got map questions, see Gilbert. He's our cartographer.
Ah, that's who Gilbert is. I'm sorry, I have not learned the first names of everyone in this Citadel yet. Gilbert, sir?
Gilbert was another one of my squad. We called him Thrasher back in the day. A good man to have in a tight spot. Past his fighting days now, though. Took a wound during the Battle of Base Cochise and never fully recovered. Now, he's our cartographer and damn good at it. You'll find him in the museum with Flintlock.
Is this Flintlock? Who is Flintlock, sir?
Flintlock was old when I was your age. Now he's ancient. Knows more about the history of the Desert Rangers than any man alive. And he'll tell you so himself.
Have we gone through everything with Flintlock then? I don't believe he told us anything about the Guardians of the Old Order. Maybe he's the one to talk to. Because I want to know. I have a deep-seated need, a thirst for knowledge. I need to know. Any advice for us, sir, now that we are officially Rangers?
You are our next generation recruits, and I want you to make us proud. Remember that every action you take reflects directly upon the Desert Rangers as a whole. We've worked hard to gain the trust of the people of Arizona, and to have them accept our authority. Keep that in mind every time you draw your weapon or make a promise. The lives of other Rangers and the rule of law depend on your wisdom, honor, and forbearance.
Yes, sir, we shall keep our promises to the best of our ability, because a promise kept is... a promise given is an oath. And oaths are meant to be kept. Echo 1 reporting. Can you tell us about Sergeant Melson, sir?
Nelson's all right. A bit young, a bit rowdy, a bit gung-ho. But the Rangers need that now. We need new blood, like yourselves.
Sounds good. Who is Wade Woodson, sir?
Woodson's that man right over there. My radio wingman. The man who keeps me on the air. If you want to know more about the repeater units, or how to use your radio, see him.
Oh, we did. Who is Ethel Mercaptain, sir?
One of the brightest minds in the Citadel. She's really helped us get our weapons and armor up to scratch, and she's always coming up with new and better stuff. Worth a visit just to see what she's got cooking.
Yes, sir, just need some more requisitions, sir. Anything else you can tell me about Ace, sir?
Ace and I went way back to the prison days. We fought Finster and the base Cochise robot army together. We rebuilt the Citadel from scratch. That I sent him on the mission which got him killed hangs heavy on my heart, and Angie's never gonna forgive me.
You know Angie well, sir? Don't mind that she's standing right behind me? Almost right behind me?
Well enough not to talk behind her back when she's standing right in front of me. Hey Angie, how you holding up?
I love that they recognize which party members I'm currently using.
Better now, General. I'm only crying 8 hours out of every day now, instead of 16.
Aw.
Ain't no shame in grieving, Angie. No shame at all.
No shame at all in grieving. We all need to grieve. We all need to grieve for different reasons. Some of us just take grief a bit harder than the rest of us. You grieve more for some people than you grieve for other people. And that is just okay. We don't all react the same way. We feel very differently about very different people. You can even grieve more for one particular member of your family than you do for another or for a friend. Just, it is a-okay. Just don't bottle it all up inside. Work through it. It's the best solution in the long run. It might suck and it might hurt like hell. But it's okay. It is okay. Anything to say about the prison?
Our old stomping grounds, since right after the apocalypse. We moved out of there about 15 years ago when we took over this place. It wasn't a bad place, but the Citadel is more defensible. The Red Scorpions have moved into the prison since then. Nasty bunch from all accounts.
I mean, yes, that does kind of make sense in the whole timeline thing. If the nuclear war happened about a century ago, and like Woodson said, they had been outgrowing the prison for decades. So yeah, makes sense in the timeline. What do you think of the Red Scorpions, sir?
They call themselves the Red Scorpion Militia now. And lately they've been filling the airwaves with a lot of trash about how they're the real law and order around here. Just another raider gang, if you ask me. I don't give them the time of day.
Mm-hmm. What happened with base Cochise, since you were actually there, sir?
Place was nearly the death of us. Hell, it was nearly the death of the whole human race. Damned malevolent mainframe churning out an endless army of robots. If we hadn't stopped it, well, I hate to think.
What's the deal with Erwin John Finster? I don't know where I learned the names of him, but sure. IJF? Erwin John Finster?
Craziest jackalope we ever faced. Might have been human once. Might have been sane too. But when we met him, he was a crazy android bent on wiping out the human race and replacing us all with mutants. Got his head in our museum if you want to take a look.
Wait, I thought Finster was a human, he was an android? Was he one of the androids spit out by the Cochise base AI, or were those just two completely different things? Cochise base AI spat out robots to try and kill all the humans. And then Finster came before or after or during and wanted to turn everyone into mutants a la the Master style. And his head is the one back there that has... Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Proteus? Proteus. Scratched into it? You think it was more than just a robot, sir?
The Rangers have fought robots before, but none like that. I don't know what that thing was, or where it came from, and that makes me uneasy.
It sounds like you have been fighting both robots and androids.
I'd already sent Captain Mercaptain a special requisition form, on the condition you bring her something that'll help us track down Ace's killer. From what she's told me so far, you'll need the best she's got.
Special requisition form. Uh-huh. We found a page from Ace's logbook, sir.
Did you? Excellent work. Let me have a look.
Sure, here you are, sir.
Not much here, is there? Let me see. Fell in with a snake squeezing cellar. Okay. Getting that feeling of being followed. Damn, tells a sad story, doesn't it? Guess what came out of the dark was that damn killer robot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, looks like your best lead is to find this snake-squeezing salesman, whoever he is. Mentions Rail Nomad here, so have a look there, if you haven't already. Maybe this fella knows something more, like where the rest of the logbook is.
So that's actually 3 reasons to go to the Rail Nomads, the encircling on the map by the killer robot, the snake-squeezing salesman, and now the guy Bowling's letter to his sister. Goodbye, sir.
Make us proud, recruits.
We shall.
Hey, General. How's the leg?
Fine, Angie. Hope you're feeling better.
It comes and goes, Snake. You know.
Yeah, I do.
There's echo in this room here, but there's no echo if you stand out here. Now, where's this TNT Tam that I heard about? I have not seen TNT Tam. Also, what is this place? Is TNT Tam one of the guys walking around? No, because it sounds like Grenadier Steel Dawn, Perimeter Secure. From the sounds of it, it sounded like Tan would be a shop. Oh, there's actually a door here I missed. Not a fan of mushrooms myself. Yes, the Guardians of the Old Order. I don't know anything about that. Can you give us a tour? Want the tour? Terrific! How most of the fellows run screaming when I start talking about the old days. Great to have an appreciative audience. That's a strange one. There's a lot of these little cards around, all completely worthless, but this one meant so much to a guy that he paid the rangers who brought it to him in more gear than he can shake a stick at. Never found out what he wanted it for, but when he died, we decided to retrieve it and preserve it. Bizarre how one little piece of plastic got us so much loot. That's the head of one of the Desert Ranger's greatest enemies, Erwin John Finster. He was one of the mad scientists, trying to make the people into mutants or some such. Can't recall the details. All I know is he was so mad he turned himself into an android. Didn't help him when the Rangers caught up to him. Lost him his head over it, in fact. Kinda spooky the way his eyes follow you around the room, ain't it? Oh, do they actually follow you around the room? There are a lot of fake blood staffs lying around, but this here's the real one, I promise you. We took it off the corpse of the blood priest himself. Nobody knows exactly what its purpose is or what it does. The secrets of its origins are lost in the mists of time. That, and we lost the manual. Not our finest moment, this one. Team of rangers in high pool ended up killing a kid in self-defense when he started taking pot shots at them with a gun. Some vigilante named Red Rider came after the team when he heard about the killing, bent on vengeance. Had to kill him too. This is his gun. I mean, I'll say that. Isn't she a beaut? On top of the line and the heaviest hitter of her day. Not operational now, I'm afraid. Can't find any replacement parts, but I still polish her muzzle every day. Now that is a useful piece of plastic. It's got us through the final doors in the sleeper base 1. Well worth the hours of fighting it took to get it. Aren't these the same? Not much to look at this sheet, is it? But you would not believe what we found inside it. Always check broken toasters, children. They're like slot machines. Sometimes you get nothing, sometimes jackpot. Well, that's now all for now, children. Come on back if you want the tour again. So you're telling me I should be going for this. Speaking of, I do have... I'll use that on yourself. Get some toaster repair up in there. Good. Did that increase your chance? It did. Okay. I'm gonna have to actually jot that down for future toaster shenanigans. See, we have the Ag Center, we have the Rangers Citadel. Ranger Citadel. Should probably put toaster repair first. I'll just put toaster. There we go. Yeah, it would probably be easier to read if I had a list of just toaster, 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 toaster. Although I only have one toaster in there, I'm betting I'll find more. So it is up to 28% now from 27 with 1 extra point in mechanical repair. So it sounds like we are not going to be lucky enough to open that. Is this where Lieutenant Tan is? No, but this is where Medic is. Goddamn pills! Oop. Fire Grenadier Stephen Kral, not Krat, but Kral. Eric Tidemann. This man must be the Ranger's doctor, judging by the tools he's carrying around. He walks around the room tending to his patients, but frequently stops to catch his breath. You can see tattoos running along his neck and arms, though you can only catch a glimpse of the latter when he reaches up to cover his mouth during a coughing fit. Melson did not have anything in the medical category. Only the woman outside, and hopefully you. I need to buy medical stuff. Oh, new recruits! Hurt? Need supplies? Or just snooping? Yes, we need to be fixed up. All right, then line up and let me have a look. Ooh, free heals! Anything else? You're taking pills, Doc? What's it to you? Can't a sick man take pills? What's wrong with you? Anything we can do to help? Not unless you got a cure for lung cancer on you. God damn it. Ugh. Before the apocalypse, I could have had chemo therapy. They tried healing crystals. Now all I can do is take pain pills and wait for the end. Oh, poor bastard. Yeah, I actually had 2 people close to me be afflicted by and die from lung cancer, so my sympathies, man. And the fucking pills aren't working anymore. Will you take pain pills if we find them? Hell yes, anything and everything. I'll trade you double for any you find. So what if we did find a cure? Ha! What a comedian! There is no cure. Not for 150 goddamn years. Not unless you believe those crackpots who say that Finster found one before he died. Who's Finster? We know who Finster is. Mad scientist. Lived in a place called Darwin's Village. Was working on modifying humans for hostile environments. But there are rumors that he invented a lot of diseases and cures too. Bullshit, of course. And even if it wasn't, Darwin Village doesn't exist anymore. Maybe the ruins do. Where was Darwin's Village? North of here, somewhere. Ask Sagara. But it's gone. The Rangers leveled it. Then radiation ate it. Nothing left. Why did the Rangers level it? Ah, because Finster lived there. Never mind, I answered my own question. What's Sergeant Sagara like? Thrasher, our map guy, in the library. Keeps track of where things are and where they used to be. Yes, please, we need to stock up. Then have a look, but it ain't free. You gotta pay. Oh, what's this? +1 leadership, stuffed miniature dog. Crafted with love and care, this taxidermy dog commemorates 12 years on 4 legs. Stuffed, he looks like a small, proud soldier, closing his eyes, looking slightly up. That would be nice. Oh, there are... Ooh, baby. I need these. I'm starting to need these more, though. How about we buy as many of these as I can? 8 of them? 8 of them. How do you cost for one? How much? How do you cost for one? 20? I can afford one. Advanced trauma kit. Surgeon 4 heals 40% of con upon revival. You do not have Surgeon 4. Surgeon 4. Alright. I need a lot of scrap. I'm literally dying here and you're joking with me? I bought stuff, man. Shut up. Let's...
Illness is a sign of weakness. I hate it.
Shut up, Takayuki. It is not a sign of illness. You fucking asshole. I want to know where Darwin's village is. You have new map data for me? Let me see it. Where is Darwin's village? Darwin, not Darwin's. Darwin doesn't own it. Well, nobody does since the radiation overwhelmed it. It is abandoned. And destroyed by the Rangers. I'll mark the spot it used to be on your map. Ooh, that is quite far away. But it might be worth going there. I am... Enjoy the hike. They did say that radiation's in the way, though.
My mother read all kinds of books to me when I was young. Ivanhoe, King Arthur, The Chronicles of Narnia, Dragonlance. She said I didn't need no other education.
Uh-huh. Maybe I should have bought them radiation suits. Because it did say that radiation took it. I guess I'll just have to go and take a look now, won't I? Maybe I need to go to the... Okay, the head of the pickaxe kind of looked like a gun at first, and it looked like Seth was just trying to hold a gun while the gun was kind of horizontally in front of her hands. Will he be alive for a while? I mean, he's not gonna die of lung cancer immediately, is he? Well, you know, it can deteriorate rather rapidly. I have seen that firsthand. But he'll probably be fine for a few days while we maybe go around and gather up enough scrap to buy them radiation suits, right? We need 200 scrap. What's this? Though this shelf is mostly filled with charts, maps, and topographical surveys that may as well be in Venusian, a few interesting titles stick out. Such as... Intelligence Report Part 1. Gimme. This is good, because this is more lore. And they did say that this place was for learning, so... Let's mosey on, let's just run back. Rangers, get some cardio in. We're gonna run back to our storage locker. And let's see, this is what we stored in here. Rangers part 2, we have part 3. We're missing part 5. Intelligence report part 1, intelligence report part 2. And you can't put anything that's owned by someone in there. So even if I were able to give Rose another gun, I wouldn't be able to get rid of it because it's owned by Rose. I am kind of curious to actually skim through this one to see if it... No, I'll read them bastards in order. Now I just need part 5. So Rangers... History part 3, holding back the tide. Maybe in one of these we'll learn about the Guardians of the Old Order. Though the Desert Rangers never gained the numbers to patrol the wastes in their entirety, it is thanks to their efforts in the century that followed that many communities in the Wasteland flourished. They helped protect the community of High Pool until it could rebuild the pre-war defenses that now make it the most well-protected source of water in the wastes, although it is gone now. The Rangers helped the rail nomads repair their trains and expand their rail lines, allowing them to establish a thriving trading and transportation network. They also helped the residents of the agricultural center go from a tiny farming community to a food research facility that has the potential to lead the wasteland into a greener, healthier future. But despite these various successes, there was always a sense that the Rangers were doing little more than holding back the tide, and were they to relax for but a moment, the raiders and madmen who lived on the fringes of Ranger territory would flood in and drown the young civilization before it had time to grow and stand on its own 2 feet. And then, almost a full century after the end of the war, in 2087, a new threat rose that threatened this tenuous equilibrium more than any danger the Desert Rangers had faced before. So the nuclear war was in 1987. Makes sense, considering when Wasteland 1 was released. Let's listen to this intelligence report. Investigation into the occurrence of robots in the Las Vegas sewers by Ranger Ann Elk. Right, because Las Vegas is in Arizona, isn't it? Again, US geography, not my forte. Brief. This investigation was ordered by General Vargas on February the 12th, 2099, and to determine the source of the robots discovered in the sewers under Las Vegas, and to calculate the likelihood of such a threat rising there again. Background. In 2087, General Vargas, then Ranger Vargas, and his fellow Rangers entered the sewers under Las Vegas, gaining access by following Farron Brygo's instructions to go through the Temple of the Servants of the Mushroom Clouds, using a sonic key to open the door to the sewers. It's not a sonic screwdriver. Considering how difficult it was to get into the sewers, it was reasonable to expect to find the place abandoned. Instead, the Rangers encountered heavy resistance from several forms of robots. The place was crawling with them from wall to wall, as the General put it. But perhaps more striking than the sheer amount of synthetics was their unique, often puzzling nature. Semi-intelligent cyborgs wielding firearms were the most normal, but the others were much stranger. From scouring the sewers for remains and interviewing the surviving Rangers and eyewitnesses, we have discerned numerous distinct types, names generally as used by the Rangers themselves. Clawman or Claw. Close combat cyborgs attacking with their bare hands. Centron. Centaurs made of a meld of metal and flesh that were capable of galloping at high speeds. I was about to ask, do you mean an actual centaur? And it seems that they do. Galloping. Cyclone. Cybernetic wolves. Recognizable by their wolf-like howls that when sustained decayed into static hissing. That is actually kind of terrifying. Wolf-like howl that just slowly turns into static hissing. Tronosaurus, giant metallic reptile. Boa constrictor, a cybernetic giant snake. Note, as no remains of this creature could be found, and the Rangers only encountered them in the darkness, their exact nature could not be ascertained. Tronodile, mechanical crocodiles. Query, what purpose could mechanical aquatic lifeforms have in the desert? They probably went with the whole sewer theme, crocodiles in sewers, etc. Tazzle, a nightmare of metal, vaguely scorpion-like, but really not like any creature we know, capable of shooting metal spines from its tail. Scorpion-like, like the scorpion-like thing I see every time I boot up the game that moved when we pressed new game. Cybertrike. Cybernetic melds of man-like forms and motorcycles, known for the roar of their engine. Disturbing. Hexborg. Squat, six-armed cyborgs. Could use multiple weapons at the same time, surprisingly intelligent and adaptive. Query. If recovered and restored, could turn out to be quite handy. Intelligence report part 2. Still Ranger and Elk continued. Another mystery of the Vegas sewers. Another mystery of the Vegas sewers why these cyborgs all seem to be unique. Another mystery of the Vegas sewers is why these cyborgs all seem to be unique to that location. That makes more sense, and it's... my brain doesn't hate that sentence now. They clearly unmistakably originated in base Cochise, but most differed, yeah. That is correct. My brain just didn't want to process the word. But most differed from the more heavy-duty cyborgs that were found in other places, such as the Slicer Dicer, the Scorpitron, the Threshing Crawler, Steel Reaver, or Silver Strangler. In general, the characteristics of the sewer cyborgs were thus. They were less capable in combat and or less functional overall. They utilized organic materials in their construction. Ooh, Borgs? They emulated extant life forms such as humans, crocodiles, and boa constrictors, even though many of those life forms are not native to the desert region and have not been seen since the war. For this investigation, we interviewed numerous Vegas citizens, including some vagrants who had moved into the now abandoned sewers, which were more easily accessible than previously assumed. An open manhole cover in an abandoned part of Vegas led directly to the sewers. Can we go to New Vegas? Or maybe it's Nuked Vegas? General Vargas's instructions were to include any theory, no matter how wild, so from combining our personal findings and observations in the sewers and eyewitness reports from bystanders and rangers, we can offer the following possibilities. Invasion force. The most logical theory is that these robots were an invasion force prepping to take over Vegas. But if so, the sewers make an odd staging area, and they had taken no aggressive actions towards Vegas before the Rangers of our arrival, other than dismantling Max. Angie talked about the Max, didn't she? Said he was a robot. Martian invasion force. No matter how wild, indeed. As told to our researchers by Johnny Flatboots, one of the sewer's more colorful inhabitants, the cyborgs were a preliminary invasion force and were not really cyborgs. Instead, they were actually Martian serpioids disguised as cyborgs, Researching the remains of cyborgs casts doubts on this theory. At least they weren't technomancers from Alpha Centauri. Dumping grounds. The strange and largely inferior nature of the sewer cyborgs could point to them being early prototypes developed by the base Cochise AI, with the sewers being used as a dumping ground for unsatisfactory experiments. That kinda does make sense. A buffer force. It is entirely feasible, based on the robot force's location, that they were meant as an emergency buffer against threats from the east, such as the Desert Rangers or perhaps the mutants being spawned by Erwin Finster. Okay, so that basically answers that question I had, that Finster and the base Cochise AI were active at the same time and had really nothing to do with each other, so that begs the question, how did Finster become an android? During the tour, Flintlock did mention that he did it to himself, but could he... But could he really have? Maybe if he programmed something to make him into an android? Because there's no... Programming error 1. A partial decryption of the robot's programming revealed a command to clean out all the shit in Vegas. The ambiguous wording of this command was possibly misinterpreted. Thus the sewers. Yeah, programming error 2. All the robots entered through a single open manhole, but none exited through it. It is therefore possible that all the robots in the sewers can be traced back to faulty pathfinding and one missing manhole cover. Well, yeah. I mean, we can't even make good pathfinding in games these days, so... completely possible. Because of the limited sources of information available to us, we cannot discount any of these theories as a possibility, except perhaps the Martian invasion one. Our conclusions, therefore, are that... Our conclusions, therefore, are that C's invasion force, dumping grounds, and buffer force theories probably are that the invasion force, the buffer force theories, all have a roughly equal likelihood of being accurate, but we cannot discount the possibility of programming errors in the relatively primitive cyborgs leading to theories 5 and 6. This leaves the final conclusion of this investigation, regrettably, inconclusive, which is not a satisfying end or answer. Anywho, I think I haven't found TNT Tan, but I'm gonna be back in Ranger Citadel, so I'll probably find TNT Tan at that point. For now, we're going out into the Wasteland, and we're gonna go exploring there, but we're going to do that next time. I think that we're generally gonna go up north towards the Rail Nomads, and maybe camera rotation. Yeah, thank you. I know how to rotate the camera. You're just like Lies of P. You're giving tutorials kinda way too late. I mean, yeah, I guess I can kinda do this to get a... Oops, sorry, didn't mean to do that. To kind of rotate it the way I want to. But yeah. Anywho, like I said, we're going out into the Wasteland next time. Generally moving northwards. Might actually take a quick peek at Darwin Village to see if there are radiation clouds, and if not, go there. But for now, leaving this episode here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate you hanging around. Please take care of yourself. Be kind, and let's spread some of that kindness out into the world. Why don't we? See you next time.